Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Book of Whitney. All right, if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there. All right, and be sure to like this video, share it with your friends. Okay, so I just want to do a brief video, and I will do another one later to give you guys more intricate details of everything. But I wanted to just jump on and do a video about how I started my boutique. Now I know there are tons of people that discuss their journey and how they got started. And of course, you know, I'm not at the peak yet. You know, I have a long way to go, a prosperous future ahead in this business, but I have definitely learned a lot along the way. Okay. You know, I always love to shop. Of course, everyone's like, who doesn't? But as I became a mother and a wife and started, you know, the kids start coming out, and, you know, it was hard to keep up with the routines I had before because I always have so much going on. And of course, the weight came, okay? You know, it's the food, you guys. It's the food, okay? So that in combination with not having the time that I usually had to work out and put plans together and things of that nature, and every minute you have that's free and the kids are asleep, you want to be asleep as well, okay? But I found myself getting in a rut as far as, you know, loving myself where I was at that time, you know, and I'm just like, you know, going shopping made it even worse, because the clothes, they would not fit good. You know, the fit wasn't good, or, you know, it's kind of, I always felt like they feel like every person that's a size 18, 20, their body's made the same way. And so I would get something and the top would be too big. Hey, I don't have, the girls aren't, you know, they're doing what they can, you know, and I appreciate them for sticking it out this far, okay? But like, don't assume, you know, that most of my weight is carried in my stomach when it's actually carried in my hips, and I'm gonna have to keep pulling the pants up all day, or I'm gonna have to wear a belt, and the belts might not look good with the shirt that I'm having on, or the outfit I'm trying to, you know, pull off for that day. So that frustration in itself, you know, was kind of like, look, if I'm gonna embrace this thing and really love myself, it wasn't about me making a declaration that, hey, you know, I'm gonna continue not to be healthy, because that's not what that was. But it was more than, hey, there are people that are my size or close to my size who are healthy and probably doing a lot better than I am when it comes to being active, but they're looking for great clothes too. They're looking for things for work. They can be professional, or, you know, even if they're out on a work trip or whatever the case may be, they can look their best. I was sitting in the office at our old home, and I was telling him about it. He was like, yeah, you should. He's like, go ahead, do it, research it, find out what you need to do, and get it done. And that's kind of what I did. So I got on the Secretary of State for Georgia, you know, thought, you know, going through some names, searching, doing some name searches, trying to make sure that no one else had the name that I did, that I wanted, so to speak. And I went in there, it wasn't there. I didn't even do a reservation. You know how sometimes you just reserve the name and be like, hey, I'll be back. No. Let me go ahead and do this right now. So that's what I did. I did the name. I filled out everything, and then I went to Rackspace. Well, actually, I might have did the Rackspace thing first for email. So you can do your domain and everything through there. So when you go to sign up, you put in the domain that you would like, and then you start your email. So that's how I did that. So I simultaneously bought both things, the domain, the website name, and then also the hosting for my email. And it was a pretty easy process. I love Rackspace. They're awesome. I also use them for my other career job as well. And it's panned out great. You can add numerous people. Now at that time, The email and the website was Ebony Bea Beautique. Now, you can still use that and get to the same page. Okay, so I do have them linked together. So just ebonybea.com will take you to the same landing page as ebonybeaboutique.com, and then both will get you to the home page of the website. So I still do have both of those sites registered. So yeah, I took care of my email, and I just put Whitney at Ebony Bea Boutique, and got all that situated. And then I was like, okay, what's next? You know, I read a little bit about Big Cartel. I want to say that's the name of it. Wix, I had went on. I was just like, you know what? I need something that's going to help me put everything together. It's going to create a system that will kind of put the stuff there where I need it to be. And so that's when I found Shopify. And they had this trial. I think it was like a 2-week, 14-day trial. So I went on. I tried it out. You get like an under construction. Don't laugh at how I say that. I have trouble with that word sometimes. But you get that page that'll be there first. But as you begin to add items and things of that nature, then they begin to populate on your site. They even have themes, free themes that you can use. And I love the free themes starting out, because to me, it helped me to kind of fill out what kind of vibe I wanted. And what they'll do, even like when you're searching for a theme, they will break it up based on how many items you have. So if your inventory is a smaller inventory, you can search for ones that have smaller, that are best to display smaller inventories. Even, hey, if you got the cash and you're starting with a big inventory, they have those too. If you're going to be using some dynamic photography and things of that nature, they even have those that can display those all. Videography, same thing. Like, there's so many themes to choose from. So I played around with a lot of them. Like, even now, I think I still have some of them saved on there. So whenever I want to, I can go in there and play with it while the other one is still up, and then boom, I can switch it right back over to another one if I wanted to. Ebony Bea. Well, Ebony is for my sister. Okay, my younger sister, she passed away when she was 19 months old. I didn't get much time with her. I was very young at that time, but she was very determined, very feisty, just fiery to just have been just a little toddler, and I think the older you get and the more time that passes by, and you don't have that person there, you weren't able to see what she grew up to be, what her favorite this was, a favorite that was, so I was looking for a way to be able to reconnect or connect with her in some way. And I was like, yeah, man, I got to use that, and then, so that's where Ebony came from. And then B, my mom's middle name is Beatrice. So, but I use BEA, like B. Arthur, if you're familiar with Golden Girls, one of my favorite shows, is BEA. So that's where it comes from. And I know sometimes people see it, they're like, Ebony Bea, stuff like that. I'm like, no, it's Ebony Bea. But, so yeah, that's short for my mom's middle name. So yeah, I kind of put that together, and I'm like, hey, this is cool, man. And it's a good feeling. Like, not just a feeling of, oh, it's just all about the money, but the feeling of the fact that I set a goal, I researched and found out what I needed to do, and I executed. That was like the biggest accomplishment in itself, because how many times do we write goals down? We might research a little bit here and there, but we don't execute. So that in itself was a major thing for me. And wow, like, it was great. So I went to IRS.gov to get an EIN number, because I knew that was going to be important for taxes. I already knew that, the business would be starting off small, being a new business. So more than likely, when I filed my taxes, it was going to be, kind of conjoined there. And I don't want to get too much into that, because I don't want to confuse people. But hey, talk to your accountant and they'll let you know about that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I went on irs.gov. I got my EIN number. And then the next step was to get a sales and tax ID. And you need that as a wholesaler. Some states don't go searching for sales and tax ID or anything, because some states, I think they maybe say it different, like a reseller ID. I saw it as when I was researching and stuff like that. But the one I got from Georgia does say sales and tax. And yeah, I applied for that. I forget how long it took to get it. I know it wasn't long though. I think they sent it to my email or something like that. And then I was ready to shop after that. Okay. So then it was to find vendors. Now, at that time, I think I might have just been getting into Instagram good, maybe, possibly. I was just doing some searches of like vendors. How do you find vendors? How do you get good lists? And I kept coming back to certain things, and certain things seemed a little sketchy, or the reviews weren't that good. So I found someone, and it was I might get this wrong, but if not, I'll try to put the information down in the description. Boutique Source, I want to say. Her name's Akila. I do know that. So she had this great thing where you could get this vendor list. I think it was like $25. And I got the vendor list. It was like 5 or 6 pages. And so I was able to go through and find different places, like and she had it broken down between like kids, men, shoes, accessories, plus size, things like that. And I was able to go through and look for some items that I might like, or some sites that had vendors that I think would fit the need of what I wanted to do. Now, here's what was different about that launch, okay? So my initial launch was 7/1/17, okay? July 1st, 2017. At that time, I was selling average size clothes and plus size clothes. Now, I don't know if you guys have did, much research into this thing. This is the importance of knowing your niche. I think I said it right. My brand manager is going to get me if I don't say that right, so I'll make sure. But anyway, your area that you're going to be focused on. But I was like, hey, I want to get out these great clothes to every woman, no matter what size she is. And so I'm like, hey, I'm going to do it. Not realizing the work that was going to go into, because initially I thought, hey, if I offered something in small, medium, large, I also want to have that in 1X, 2X, 3X, 4X, or whatever is available. But that's not the case for many vendors and manufacturers. They may have it in small, medium, large, but they may not even make plus size. Or if they do, what they make for plus size may not be something you want in your store. So that's one of the main things I ran into. The other thing was, at that time, I wasn't taking any photography. All my closest friends were thick. Shout out to the thick committee. And I'm like, who's gonna take these pictures in these clothes that are small, medium, and large? So initially, I was using vendor pictures. Now, I have nothing against that. I am by no means the boutique police. But I think that it's important to have cohesiveness. If you are using vendor portraits, maybe stick with the same one vendor or a couple vendors, so they kind of look the same in some way. That's kind of where I messed up, because all my vendors, they had different kind of models, different kind of backgrounds, different looks in general. So that was one thing that I think I'm like, I did get sales here and there. I had some friends and family, sorority sisters. Shout out to the sorors, aka Skill. I had a lot of them to support me. Like I said, family, some family members as well. So I don't know, just in hindsight, you kind of think about that. But I would say don't let that deter you, though, because you can still get started. You know, like I said, I still got sales, you know, like, no, it wasn't thousands of dollars a month or anything like that, but I got enough sales to keep me going, to keep me interested, to keep me digging into and to see what I could do to better Ebony Bea Boutique. Okay. So yeah, the vendor list, I had so much fun with that vendor list, just going up and down, finding things. So I found some people. One thing I will say is that when you are vetting these vendors, see if they offer like samples or something where you can get a good idea of what the product is like, because trial and error can be costly. Now, if you can get the product in time to look through it and know if you want it or not, and you send it back in time, you're good to go. There shouldn't be any issues. But some vendors, they may not give money back, or they'll give a store credit. Well, that kind of messes you up, because now you're stuck looking within that store for all these items. Okay. So there was a lot of trial and error there, but yeah, just trying to do all the sizes was a lot. It was a lot. And because I was not in the middle of the sizes enough to take the pictures for both, not to mention I wasn't super confident doing it and stuff like that. And you know, but now you don't need a lot of stuff to get started. You know, you can have your camera phone. Most of these cameras on these phones now are awesome. You can have that. You can get a ring light from Amazon. I think the one I'm using now is like $50. It's one of the big ones. You can get smaller ones for probably even less than that. So it's not a big thing, you know. Don't focus too much on it. I think if your heart is in the right place, your goals are lined up, and you know what you need to accomplish and what you want to get done, I think you will find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And shout out to Annie B and Grandma them for putting that in me. Where there's a will, there's a way. So that was just a tidbit, you guys. There's way more detail to this whole starting a business. But I've had 2 launches. Like I said, my first launch was 7/1/17. Okay, my second launch was 7/1/18. 19. There we go. 7/1/19. So a lot happened in that time. New baby. I was super sick. Wasn't able to focus on it and take inventory and do all those things like I needed to do. So things went slack. And that's kind of what happened. But I was not ready to quit. My house was full of boxes, shoes. Oh, we're not even going to get on the shoes right now, you guys. But I was taking up so much room in the house with my stuff, because I hadn't got a separate office yet, because the revenue that was coming in wasn't enough to afford that yet, you know. So I had stuff everywhere, you guys. But definitely this is just part 1, like just a little brief interview or overview of a brief overview of how I got started and everything. But right now I am in my space for where I ship off everything, where I do inventory at. The models come here when we have photo shoots scheduled and things of that nature. So that's where I am now. So I have grown. You know, God is definitely good. He's blessed me to have a support system around me. You know, my husband keeping me going even when I wanted to quit. But like I did take a break, but I came back. And that's what you have to do, like in life. If you want to do it, take your break, do what you need to do, but come back. Come back to it. Come back even with more force, more drive, more than you ever had before. All right, well, thank you guys for coming to my channel. Part 2 will be coming soon. Leave some questions below if there's any specific information you would like me to tell you about starting your own boutique.